Unfortunately, animals have a knack for putting themselves in dangerous situations. Because they are constantly in search of food, they often end up in undesirable places.
Well, there they go. Oh, God. They're without power!
If you want to see what happens when animals get too close to electric power, sit tight, because it's shocking. So let's get started. 16. Flying fox. With the largest wingspan of any bat, so it's no surprise that the flying fox in our first video got stuck in some power lines and paid the price with its life. The bat can be seen hanging from the cable upside down. The people in this video are trying to rescue a flying fox cub after its mother was electrocuted on power lines. Many flying foxes are killed this way, and unfortunately, some have their babies with them when it happens, just like the one in this video. More bats can be seen dead after enduring powerful shocks when coming in contact with power lines. Some fall to the ground, and others are seen hanging on the power lines. Number 15. Cat. This wild cat stands right below an electric fence, and the second he makes contact with the fence, he scrams out of there. This curious cat jumps on some sort of electrical transformer, and everything seems to be fine until the cat touches something and is shocked to death. He can be seen collapsing to the ground half a second after it is zapped. A cat sits at the top of an electric pole when suddenly makes a backflip and falls into the crane that's trying to help him out. As the crane operator begins to lower the crane, the cat jumps out onto the roof and vanishes. Hence, I'm not sure the backflip was caused by a shock, or the cat just wanted to impress onlookers. However, I'm thinking, if it was a shock, the cat would have jumped on the roof that way. Number 14. Monkey. A cute little monkey has his bottom buzzed by an electric fence after touching it inadvertently. It's not a powerful shock, but it's enough to make the baby baboon realize this fence is not to be fiddled with. These little monkeys are playing with fire when they venture onto some power lines for a little fun. They are inches away from certain death at one point, but they keep risking their lives without knowing it. In the end, they all survive for the time being, but something is bound to happen if they keep using the power lines as their playground. A man saw a monkey on the power line next to his house. It looked like a stray monkey that came down from the neighboring mountain. The monkey can be seen using the power lines as if it were practicing a trapeze act for the circus. It's extremely lucky to come out of there still breathing. This monkey received an electric shock, and you can see how worn out he is. I mean, this little guy was literally cooked, fried, and roasted by the power lines. A Hoolock gibbon can be seen rolling over in excruciating pain after getting zapped. Even the expression on the monkey's face shows the pain the animal is enduring. As this monkey grabs a power line to make a jump, it is zapped and stiffens immediately, after which it falls to the ground and probably dies. An electric fence is a good deterrent for these monkeys not to escape, because they get a small shock every time they touch it. However, it's not enough to injure them seriously. Number 13. Crow. After being zapped by a power line, a crow is exposed for its funeral. Visitors paying their respects have brought flowers to celebrate the short life of this wonderful bird. Crows are curious but intelligent birds, and it seems like this crow sensed the danger when it got too close to being zapped and backed up just before being thrown into oblivion. This huge distribution line is being used as a playground by a large flock of birds, and watch what happens when the birds all take off at the same time. A huge explosion occurs, probably killing many of the culprits in the process. Was that ever spectacular? Number 12. Peacock. In this video, we can see two dead peacocks on the ground after they were both electrocuted. I can't confirm if they are 100% dead, but from what I can see, I'm almost sure. It's rare to see a peacock this high on an electric pole, and if the bird is not careful, he won't be there for long because he could easily be zapped into his next life. Another peacock bites the dust after being shocked to death when it touched some heavy-duty electric current. Number 11. Tiger. This tiger lives in an enclosure that is surrounded by an electric fence, so when the tiger touches the fence, he is shocked. It's not a huge shock, but it's enough to startle the large feline and make him think twice about touching the fence again. Number 10. Kangaroo. The kangaroo in this video uses his head and knows exactly what he's doing when he sneaks under the electric fence without being zapped and escapes. This guy is off to the races. Number 9. Squirrel. When the squirrel in this video touches an electrical transformer, he is annihilated and sent to the ground. The actual electrocution causes flames and fire, which is astounding, and without a doubt, it kills the rodent. This squirrel is not a flying squirrel, but that's what it looks like when he gets zapped and takes a plunge to the ground. Squirrels are probably the animals that walk on electrical cables and climb electric poles the most, so this puts them at great risk of receiving a deadly shock. I once saw a squirrel get roasted by a shock, and he died instantly and fell off a roof. I could see him decompose from my bedroom window during the following months. This squirrel could easily win a tightrope competition if it participated, and what's even more amazing is that he can run across a long power line without getting zapped. Not only was the squirrel in this video zapped to death, but he is actually being fried on the electric pole and could easily be served at one of the top breakfast joints in the country. As a matter of fact, I think that's what the man with the metal pole is doing, picking the squirrel up to eat it. Number 8. Horse. When this horse approaches this fence, he feels what it's like to get a small shock. Apparently, if you listen carefully, you can hear the horse fart when he gets shocked. I guess being shocked brings out the best in him. A 2-day-old colt messes with an electric fence, and it's painful. You can see the colt's reaction as he moves away from the fence after being shocked. This little girl feeding this horse gets the scare of her life when the horse is zapped by the electric fence and jumps abruptly. No kidding. Where were the parents? And why didn't they cut the current while the little girl was feeding the horse? She could have been zapped as well, unless she was sneaking around behind her parents' backs. Number 7. Bear. The bear in this video has been a little too persistent with his chicken coop. After damaging the door and a section of hardware cloth, the owners of the chicken coop decided to add an electric fence. Thanks to USDA Wildlife Services, it had a properly regulated fence that would just keep the animals away, but not harm them in any way. In this video, a young bear tests the electric fence that was installed around a feeder in the owner's hog trap. This was the only way the owner found to keep the bears from pulling down the feeder. This is in the mountains of South Carolina. This electric fence keeps these polar bears at bay. Mama bear can be seen with her 2 adorable cubs trying to figure out why the fence is there. But when mom senses that something is not right, she decides to take her cubbies with her, as far away from there as she can. Polar bears are known to destroy huts or tents or anything they can when they are in search of food. In polar bear areas, camps need good protection to keep hungry bears out. Over the past years, experts have had favorable experiences with electric fences surrounding anything that needed protection from the bears. For adequate protection, the electric fence should be used in combination with other means to detect and scare polar bears. This bear is climbing up the wrong tree, and when he gets the shock of his life, he panics and tries to avoid more shocks, but at one point, he gets a powerful shock which sends him falling straight to the ground. Number 6. Moose. These people grew tired of their vegetable garden being raided by a giant moose, so they installed an electric fence, and when the moose went to get his morning snack, the snack didn't taste so good. I must say, it electrified him. Number 5. Dog. These dogs belong to the man filming this video, and they have learned to climb the fence when they see something they really want. Shock collars did not help at all, so he had to up the juice a bit and install an electric fence. He thinks they may have finally learned. It's only 1000 volts, especially made for pets. The man tested it first on himself to make sure it was not too much for the dogs. For those who care, it's not a huge shock, with the same intensity one would find on a cattle fence. Roman, the 1-year-old Bernese mountain dog and Slovensky Kuvak mixed dog in this video, has been digging and sliding under the fence to get out of the yard. Worried about his safety, his owner strung one electric line about 6 inches off the ground to deter his midnight escapades. He touched the wire one time and still will not go on that side of the yard. The problem is solved, and now, the owners don't even need to keep the fence on. It has been turned off for the time being because they hated watching their dog get zapped this way, but at least it taught him not to venture far away from the property. I don't think this dog ever expected to get shocked while he was trying to pee, but that's what happened to him. I hope this doesn't make him think it will happen every time he pees, or this dog will stop peeing. Another dog is shocked and gets the scare of his life when he touches an electric fence in this video. After being zapped, the dog scampers off away from the fences. The owner of this boxer had to install an electric fence to try and stop him from jumping it. His first encounter